is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Sports. We are Southeast.
After a rainy start to the day, the skies have cleared in Atlanta, where the Indians and Braves meet in Game 2 of this three-game series. The Braves will try to slow down the red-hot Tribe. They've won 10 consecutive games. Andrew Inciarte and company has a tough task at hand tonight. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe. Game 1 went to the Indians 8-3 last night. And into the fray goes Matt Whistler. As we talked about on Braves Live, partner, early innings could be a key for Matt tonight.
It's so crucial to him to get off to a good start. The first inning has really been a problem for him because of just too many base runners. It also seems like when he gets a couple of outs in the first inning, then all of a sudden more trouble begins because, as one of his catchers told me, he loses focus and has to be reminded to get back on track. There's no questioning his stuff. He's got good stuff, and he's had good stuff for most of his starts this year. Hopefully tonight, as he gets back on track, his last two will be more prevalent, those types of numbers, than the previous four.
He's facing a red-hot Indians team that's hitting home runs by the bunches, and his pitching opponent is a former Cy Young Award winner. Corey Kluber gets the ball tonight for the Tribe.
Well, yet another ace that the Braves are going to have to contend with. And while Corey Kluber got off to a slow start, he's back to 500. He's at 7-7. And he has 3 complete games already this year. 2 of those were shutouts, including his last start against Tampa Bay. 9 innings of 3 hits, shutout ball. He walked 2, struck out 9. I'd say he's back where he wants to be. And when you look at his numbers over his last 4, outstanding, and just a .155 average against him.
So we know it is Whistler and Kluber. What we don't know is who will be pitching for the Braves for the rest of what remains of this homestand. When we come back, Kelsey Winkert will update us on the state of the suddenly injured Braves pitching staff as we continue from Turner Field after this.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Delta Airlines. your local Ford dealer. And Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
The rain earlier caused a nice night here at Turner Field for Game 2 of the Indians versus the Braves. If you were watching the game last night, you saw the starting pitcher, John Gant, go down with an injury. He is been placed on the 15-day DL. Casey Kelly has been called back up. He'll be coming out of the bullpen, but that is the third starting pitcher that the Braves have now on the DL with Mike Foltynewicz, Williams Perez, and now John Gant. But, you know, guys have answered the call. But take a look. State of the staff. 24 different pitchers used this season, and 9 pitchers on the current staff are 26 or younger. In the last 13 games, a 3.29 ERA. The starting pitchers for Wednesday and Thursday have not been determined yet, but we talked to Brian Snitker about what happens next.
We're going to make that decision tonight after the game, see kind of where we're at for tomorrow, and it's going to be day-to-day type thing, you know, just like we were, I don't know, a few weeks ago. It seemed like we were just kind of taking it a day at a time to see where we were with who we use, how much we use them, things like that. We're not, we got to call somebody up or whatever, so we just kind of deal with it as we go. It seemed like for a while there we were, you know, kind of had everybody on schedule and day off here, there, you know, getting the guy an extra day's rest. And but, you know, it's just one of them things, you know, it's that you go through, so we'll handle it.
There might be questions for Wednesday and Thursday, but not tonight, as Matt Whistler takes the mound for your Atlanta Braves. We have first pitch and starting lineups with Chip and Joe coming up right after the break.
Presented by Mazda.
It's turned out to be a pretty night for baseball here in Atlanta as the Braves and Indians meet in Game 2 of our series. Matt Whistler gets the ball for the Braves tonight, looking for victory number 4.
Well, he's got a good curveball. Hopefully tonight he won't cup that curveball too much. His home run splits 1 and 5 here at Turner Field. Got to get that turned around, a 4.5 ERA. And that will go to the 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Number 1, a 6.43 ERA in the first inning and a 400 on base percentage. That is 9 walks, 2 hit batsmen, and 17 hits. That's 28 base runners in 14 first innings combined. And 2 out focus. As I mentioned in the opening comments, of his 26 total walks this year, 12 have come with 2 out, where he gets through like he did in the first inning of his last start. gets through it easily, and then all of a sudden something happens and he walks a couple of guys.
And getting through this Cleveland lineup is never easy. The Indians have outscored their opponents by 46 runs during their 10-game winning streak. They've scored 6 or more in 7 straight games. And a new look at the top of the order. It's Carlos Santana, their switch-hitting first baseman. Kipnis, Lindor, Ramirez, and Chisenhall, the top 5. Naquin had a big night last night. And our old pal Juan Uribe will hit 8th for Terry Francona's Cleveland Indians. And the first pitch of the night is off the plate, and we're underway. Boy, what a delightful cool off tonight. It's 75 degrees after torrential rains here in Atlanta around 3:30 this afternoon. Gentle breeze blowing from right to left. Hopefully that'll refresh the Braves and the home crowd at Turner Field tonight. And there's a strike. Trip Gibson has the plate. And there has been a change to the umpire rotation for this crew tonight after Jerry Lane was hurt last night late. Jerry took a foul ball to the side of the neck. And he's been replaced by Bill Welke, who's manning third base for the umpiring crew tonight.
All reports, though, on Jerry Lane are good. In fact, he wanted to work tonight, but MLB protocol insisted that he take the night off, so we hope he's resting comfortably.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Santana, who struck out looking by Whistler, and a good start for Matt tonight. As I mentioned, the Indians are scoring tons of runs. 21 homers in the 10-game win streak. Chisenhall hit 1 last night. Kipnis hit 1 last night. This is a good Cleveland team with a lot of #1 picks, homegrown talent that has helped Terry Francona's team surge to a 5-game divisional lead. Kipnis with 10 homers, 42 knocked in, and Whistler delivers a strike.
He's in that outside corner with some gas here so far to the left. He's 95 on the strikeout pitch to Santana.
And that one is lined into right field. Another 94-mile-an-hour pitch. And Kipnis has his second hit of the series, a clean single with 1 out.
He has an interesting way of starting his stance. He's got the bat laid straight back toward the catcher, and then he raises it straight up. And on that particular pitch, it was a high pitch, so it's basically right on plane with his swing. Up, he leveled off on it and ripped it.
So here's the 22-year-old Indians shortstop Francisco Lindor at .314 for the year. He had a pair of hits last night, his 28th multi-hit game this year. And an outside corner strike. Lindor, the 8th overall pick by the Indians in 2011. And he's making a very strong bid for All-Star game consideration in the American League. Line into center field. Another Lindor hit.
This guy's not even in the top 5. Is that what you looked up last night in the
hard to
All-Star
believe.
voting? That is hard to believe. Is this pitch up also? Had a little too much of the plate. Tried to run a 2-seamer away from him, looked like. Not enough movement. These guys can hit, folks.
This is Jose Ramirez. He's hit 4 homers. He's knocked in 28 and is batting .289. That's yanked foul. I mean, Matt's got a good fastball, and they are just creaming.
Teeing off. Look at their lineup tonight. Their leadoff hitters got 16 homers. Number 2 and 3 each have 10, and then you get to their cleanup hitter, and he's got 4.
Ground ball, that's through the right side for a hit. Here comes Kipnis around third. Markakis loads up. Here comes his throw to the plate. It's going to be late. And 3 straight Cleveland singles gives the Indian team the first inning lead of 1-0.
This was a breaking ball, and it dropped right to the barrel of his bat. It wasn't down and in, but it was down and out over the plate. So they've hit a couple of mistakes that were fastballs. That wasn't a bad pitch. It just had a lot of the plate. And it's 1-0 in the first inning. Woes continue for Matt Whistler.
Lonnie Chisenhall hit a 3-run homer here last night. And on the recoil, Chisenhall plunked A.J. Brzezinski in the catcher's mask.
Glad he had his helmet on.
The 41st game in which the Indians have scored the first run. They've won 33 of those so far this year. Runner at first goes, swing and a miss. AJ's throw is dropped by Ibar, and Lindor will gallop home with the second run. It's 2-0.
They were going for the double steal. Ibar had cut in front of the bag, knowing that Lindor was coming home right here, getting ready to throw it, make the exchange, but he didn't catch it cleanly. As soon as that ball cleared the pitcher, Lindor was off to the races, scored easily.
So it's a double steal. Lindor steals home on that play, and a looping pop up to the shortstop Ibar for the second out.
Chip, it's a worn out cliche, and I'm sorry to use it, but in this case, a good hitting team like this, when they get off to starts like this, and they've won 10 in a row, and they've out-homered their opponents 21-8 over this 10-game streak, they are like sharks. First guy that gets a hit, then the second guy gets a hit, next guy gets a hit, all hit hard. Man, oh man, do they go to the plate with a lot of confidence and just basically, hey, throw it up here and I'll hit something.
Everything except that for that line drive has been hit hard by Cleveland here in the first. And Yan Gomes, the catcher, is the next batter. Despite a 186 average, Gomes has 8 homers.
And having a real hard time with right-handed pitching, only a .137 average.
And he's behind Matt Whistler here. No balls, 2 strikes. And he didn't get a high breaking ball, and that will retire the side. Cleveland scores 2 runs, 3 hits, a double steal, and after a half inning, the Tribe leads 2-0. Half inning of play. Let's see if the Braves can rally in the bottom of the first inning against Cy Young Award winner Corey Kluber of Cleveland.
Cy Young Award was in 2014. 18-9, awesome ERA. Last year, his batting average against him was actually better, but he lost more games than anybody in the American League. Went 9-16. Got off to a slow start this year, but has rallied of late. Last 4 games, he's 3-1 to even his record at 7-7. He's 30 years old, 6'4", 215, out of Stetson.
The Braves at 26-50 have Jace Peterson leading off, and why not? He's riding an 8-game hitting streak. Freeman, Markakis, and Garcia in the middle of the Atlanta lineup. A.J. Ibar, Bonifacio, and Whistler the last 4. And your point about Kluber's well taken. He was the Indians' version of Shelby Miller last year. No run support. That's not been a problem for him so far this year. Last season, Kluber got 2 runs or less in 21 of his 35 starts, and despite losing 16 games, still had a 3.49 ERA in the American League. And like Jace Peterson, Corey Kluber is a former San Diego Padre. Cleveland got him in late July 2010. As that one's bounced to Santana at first, he'll flip to the pitcher covering. And there's out number 1. Here's how Cleveland lines up defensively. Tyler Naquin had a good game in center field. Chisenhall can cover some ground in right. Ramirez in left. Our old pal Juan Uribe will hope for some true hops tonight. He's at third base with Lindor, Kipnis, and Santana joining him around the horn. Yan Gomes is the Cleveland catcher. Ender Inciarte at 238 for the year. No homers, 8 RBIs. And that's outside, ball 1.
First opportunity for me to see Kluber pitch in person. Very smooth delivery. Fastball's 93 to 95 with a lot of cutters and a slider. Complete game 3-hit shutout his last time out against Tampa Bay.
After that series with Cleveland, you made the point before the game. It's almost like Tampa Bay might have wanted to just stop playing baseball for a week.
That was in the midst of their long losing streak. Trevor Bauer threw a complete game against him right before Kluber did. And Kluber's working on an extra day's rest this start today. He's working on 6 days. He's 0-2 with a almost 5 ERA with extra rest.
And he just walked in Ciarte on 5 pitches. Man aboard in front of Freddie Freeman with 1 out. Kluber doesn't walk many. That's only his 23rd walk in 103 innings this year. So you got to make him pay for that mistake. And who better than Freddie Freeman, who's hit 13 home runs. Braves first baseman picked up 2 more hits here last night. And a high strike means it's 0-1. Nick Markakis to follow Freddie Freeman. And that one right back where it came from. What a pick. Race to the bag at second and in time, and the double play at first. Lindor with an incredibly athletic play. Appeared to beat Inciarte at the second base bag. And they complete a double play, and the Braves look to review this bang-bang play at second.
Well, it was a foot race to the bag. And if he was out, if Lindor did win the foot race, what a play.
Lindor is certain he beat Inciarte to the bag, and that kid is incredible. What a play. A 6-3 double play. He beat a fast runner, and the Braves are out of luck in the first inning on a remarkable 6-3 inning-ending double play. You get club view seats with $7.55 club access for all games in July for just $10. It's an offer you don't want to miss. Go to Braves.com/July and secure your tickets today.
Club seats for $10. Are you kidding me? That's a great offer.
Matt Whistler to work in the second. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Indians in the opening inning. Home games in July for the Braves, the Marlins, the Rockies, and the Phillies. Hey, nice catch by a young fan sitting behind the Cleveland dugout. He's fired up. Tyler Naquin rips one back to the screen foul. He's on an impressive run with a .328 batting average. That's tops among American League rookies, and his last 8 hits have all been for extra bases.
Well, he came close to hitting 2 home runs last night, 1 to center and 1 to right.
And
got hit in the knee.
He did get hit on the knee. The home plate umpire Trip Gibson was checking to see if there was a swing. There was not a swing, so he's at first on a hit by pitch.
Oh man, right on the kneecap.
Juan Uribe and A.J. Pierzynski, former teammates with the White Sox and best friends, are yucking it up as Naquin tries to get some feeling in that left kneecap. So the Cleveland center fielder will stay in the game, and here is Juan Uribe, sitting on 199 lifetime homers.
Five homers in his last 8 games.
Mentioned last night what a good job Uribe did with the Braves last season. Hit .285 in 46 games. And went to the Mets, hit 6 more homers. Unloads down the left field line. Will he keep it fair? It is foul and into the Cleveland bullpen.
That was a breaking ball up and in, and he just cleared everything out of the way so he could golf it. Fortunately, it went foul. Hips, everything opened up so he could get his hands to it.
Popped up behind the plate. AJ will run out of room.
Last inning to start the game, Whistler threw 2 balls to Santana. He was 2-0 on the count. After that, he threw 15 straight strikes, and too many good strikes resulted in a couple of runs for the Indians. So it's not about just throwing strikes, it's about location. So far it's a little off.
See if he can put away Uribe on an 0-2 count. Yeah, that was up in the zone, but fouled straight back. It's 0-2. Uribe's no kid. He's 37 years old now. 14 full major league seasons. A terrific defensive third baseman. Uribe had some big years with the White Sox. He hit 20 or more homers 3 times in Chicago. Had a 24 homer year in 2010 with the Giants. And he didn't get that pitch that was up and in. And Uribe is down on strikes. That's the 3rd for Whistler.
Put that one too high up out of his range. And in. Got away with that one. I wouldn't try that too often.
Here's Corey Kluber, 29 years old, lives in Jacksonville in the offseason. At the time of his trade, Kluber had reached the AA level for the Padres. He was 6-6 in 21 starts at AA. San Diego had to have Ryan Ludwig. Jake Westbrook went to St. Louis. And Kluber was the man that came to Cleveland. He tried to bunt and didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. He lays down the bunt, and it's a beauty. And the runner at second with 2 outs. Naquin in scoring position, and Santana's coming up after he was caught looking his first time. A.J. Przinsky's talking with Tripp Gibson after Kluber laid down the bunt. He laid the bat down right in front of the plate. The baseball might have hit the bat as he made his way to first base.
Well, A.J. pounced on it pretty quickly, but the speed of Naquin kept him from actually throwing to second base. Naquin was down to second quickly. I'm not sure anybody else would have made it down there that fast. Good jump by him.
And here's Santana. And he takes a strike. Santana 5'11", 210. The Indians got him from the Dodgers for Casey Blake way back in 2008. And a high hopper hit to the left side. Ibar's got it. Tricky hop. He'll flip to third, but no play there as Naquin was standing on top of the bag. And Santana with an infield hit puts runners at the corners with 2 outs.
Mike Sarbaugh is the third base coach for the Indians, and he had to let Naquin know right away, stay on the bag, on the bag. If he rounds third, he's out.
So Kipnis is up again. He got a high fastball his first time up, and he ripped it into right field. 2-time All-Star in 2013 and again last year for the Indians.
Again, a very unique way to start his swing, his stance, by pointing the bat straight back at the backstop.
Kipnis had his best batting average year in the major leagues last season, where he hit .303 for the Indians, racked up 171 hits, also a career high. He's out of Northbrook, Illinois. That's just outside of Chicago.
A couple of good breaking balls back to back. Wants him to waste one upstairs.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Let's face Lindor in the 3rd inning. He's on deck.
Yeah, that breaking ball that he threw earlier in the count might be a good call here.
It was, and Kipnis took it for a called 3rd strike. He didn't think so. And Whistler's out of 2nd inning trouble. Cleveland strands a pair. They've left 3 on in the first 2 innings, but they have an early 2-0 lead. You'll make your plans to join us for Star Wars Night, Friday, July 1st. The Marlins will be in town. Special ticket packages include a commemorative Star Wars bobblehead, which you see featuring John Schuerholz, a pregame parade, and a donation to Stand Up Cancer. Now, these bobbleheads, we understand, are only available if you purchase the very special Star Wars ticket package. This is not a normal walk through the gate giveaway item. So for more information on what those packages are all about, check in at Braves.com as I work with Carol Merrill behind door number 1.
Thank you very much. It's a great bobblehead. Laser sword and everything. Very good likeness too.
And for the kids, there'll be 50 different Star Wars characters in the ballpark here on Friday night.
Lightsaber, I'm sorry, I had the wrong terminology.
We knew what you meant. It's all right. As Markakis didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. So again, Star Wars Night, Friday night. To get the bobblehead, you have to get the Star Wars ticket package. It's not just a general admission ticket, you get a bobblehead. So we don't want anyone coming to the ballpark disappointed or confused by that.
Pass the word.
Nick Markakis, the Braves cleanup man tonight. He's got hits in 7 of 8 and his average up to 254 for the year. And it's 2-2. Markakis and A.J. Brzezinski have seen Corey Kluber the most among the men in the Braves lineup tonight. And that was a filthy pitch for Kluber's first strikeout. And that's how the home second starts. 1 up, 1 down.
It's just very easy gas, as the players would say. No big hard wind up. Little two-seamer that came back to the inside corner. 93. But looks like he's not really trying to throw that hard, and it comes out of his hand hot.
Braves third baseman Adonis Garcia is up with the bases empty, and he takes a strike. Adonis had a hit here last night, part of a 1-for-4 game, and he's batting .253 for the year.
Ooh. A breaking ball, when I was watching video of it, it's like a swooping slider. You know, it's hard, but it really does move sideways more than up and down.
Big hop for Lindor and a perfect throw to first. 2 up and 2 down. Lindor's already made a great play up the middle to start a double play with Freddie Freeman up. That ended the first inning. He handled that routine chance with no trouble, and now he'll move into shift position with A.J. Brzezinski coming up.
They're kind of in the middle of the pack on shifts. The Indians last year, they were 12th. Their rank was 12th out of 30 teams. This year 16.
And a ground ball to second. Kipnis has that, and Kluber is rolling merrily along. He's gotten 6 outs on 20 pitches, and he leads 2-0.
you're watching the game last night, you saw starting pitcher John Gant go out with an injury. It was a left oblique strain. He was placed on the 15-day DL today. So for those keeping track at home, that is 3 starting pitchers on the DL. Casey Kelly was called up to fill that roster spot, but there is no word on who the Braves will start on Wednesday or Thursday. But Williams Perez, Mike Foltynewicz, and John Gant now on the DL. We will find out after the game tonight who's going to be starting tomorrow. But the good news is they've had somebody step up every time so far this season to fill a starting role, guys.
Good point, Kelsey.
Yeah, they have. Somebody has really taken advantage of opportunities, and there are some coming up.
Francisco Lindor leads off and takes a strike. Yeah, it's really odd when you write down the pitching matchups for the rest of this series and that upcoming series with the Miami Marlins. As Garcia at third, even with the bag, throws to first in time. That man named TBA is a real rubber arm starting pitcher because he's listed an awful lot by both the Braves and the Marlins.
Yeah, it's not too often that you have that many blanks, undetermined, whatever, coming up in the next series, and even tomorrow and Thursday for Atlanta.
So Whistler gets the first out. Here's Ramirez. He singled home a run and took part in a double steal that helped the Indians pick up their second run. Cleveland will pay attention to the scoreboard a little later on tonight. The team closest to them in the divisional race is Kansas City, and they host the Cardinals at Kauffman Stadium in just a little bit.
You know, you would think that with their 10-game winning streak, they would have really put a lot of space between themselves and Kansas City, but it's just 5. It's not just 10 in a row either for the Tribe. They've won 19 out of their last 25.
And Whistler walks Ramirez. That is his first base on balls tonight, but he has also hit a batter. As you see the AL Central standings, the White Sox were the team that led very early on in the AL Central. Then they had an epic collapse. They're 7.5 back, tied with the Tigers. And the Tigers and Marlins might want to talk about the way their division race has gone. If Detroit had beaten Cleveland at all, they might be in first place. And if Miami had been able to beat the Braves consistently, they might be in first in the East in the National League. Funny how that works. Runner goes. Pitch a strike. Throw to second is a strike, but it's late. And Ramirez has stolen his 9th base. Boy, it's really interesting. Excuse me, his 10th base for Ramirez. And for an American League team, they run a lot, do these Indians.
And he's their cleanup hitter. 2 swipes tonight. He was on the front end of the double steal in the first inning. Good throw by AJ, but Ramirez got a huge jump on Whistler.
So Chisenhall has an RBI chance, and that's out of play foul. It's 0-2. It is interesting how the game evolves. You almost never saw American League teams steal a lot of bases. You'd have Ricky Henderson certainly, but not teams. And the Indians have a lot of guys who can run up and down their lineup. Ramirez is one of them. And they've got 61 stolen bases as a club. And the point of that is they don't have to sit back and wait for somebody to hit a 3-run homer. They can manufacture runs like they did in the first tonight.
Yes. They had 2 home runs last night. One was a 3-run shot. But they manufactured a run in the first, the 7th, and 2 in the 8th.
Whistler has that off the end of the glove, and all hands are safe. It either sticks or it doesn't. That time it didn't for Matt. It's an infield hit for Chisenhall, and the Indians threaten again, 1st and 3rd with 1 out.
Yeah, that's just bad luck for Matt. Good pitch off the end of the bat that he slowed down enough, just enough, make sure nobody else could catch it.
but he might have the right man in the right spot. As you mentioned, Yan Gomes has had trouble hitting righties all year, and Whistler struck him out to end the opening inning. It's 56 strikeouts for Gomes now and 205 at bats. And when the season's over, Gomes lives in Braves country. He lives in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, quite a difference in his splits. Funny that he's got 7 homers though against right-handers.
And he's a much better hitter than he showed last year and is showing this year. 2 years ago, Gomes hit .278 with 21 homers. Last year, 95 games, .231 the average. Sprained the MCL ligament in his right knee in mid-April. He was never the same. He's trying to find his way back this year for Cleveland too.
And born in Brazil. As we learned from Dale Murphy, and we remind people all the time after a Major League Baseball excursion to South America, Dale Murphy said he thought the next big explosion of Latin ball players would come from Brazil.
And Gomes is a true trailblazer. He is the first Brazilian player ever in Major League Baseball. Andre Rienzo is another, and we saw Paulo Orlando with Kansas City. One ball, 2 strikes. And in the offseason, as I said, he lives in Knoxville. Probably has some great pitching and catching discussions with his father-in-law. Remember Atlee Hammaker?
Yes.
Yan Gomes married Atlee Hammaker's daughter.
How about that?
Jenna. Swing and a miss. Whistler pulled a string. Nice pitch. That's 5 strikeouts for Matt in his first 2 2/3 innings.
Well, the last 2 innings, they've been really important. He had first and third in the second inning and struck out Kipnis to end the inning. Got a generous call on the outside corner, and now first and third, and he gets Gomes.
Tyler Naquin was hit on the left knee in the second inning and was left stranded at third base. With Michael Brantley hurting and out with a bum shoulder, the Indians have gotten great mileage out of some of their young outfielders, and Naquin's one of them.
I know we've talked about this before, Chip, but it seems to me that there's no one else in the Braves rotation that has to work harder for 3 outs in an inning than Matt Whistler. His perfect 1, 2, 3 innings have become a rarity.
Swing and a miss, and on the recoil, I think Naquin hit the throwing hand of A.J. Pierzynski with the bat.
Yeah.
That's 2 Indians that have plunked A.J. Pierzynski. I think Chisenhall got him early on tonight.
It's a big follow through. A.J. was coming up like he might throw, but got nailed. Oh. Only like getting hit with a hammer.
Here comes a fastball in. And Naquin didn't get it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first goes, and the pitch high. AJ fakes a throw to second this time. And Ramirez wasn't buying that. So Chisenhall with a steal. That's the 4th stolen base tonight.
Quite frankly, I'm surprised he didn't go on the pitch before, right after AJ got hit in the hand with the bat. He waited a pitch before he took off. And still hurting.
Yeah, he's still flexing that right hand. As the count's now full. And Naquin walks. So again, Matt gets to 2 outs, but not before a walk and an infield hit. Now a 2-out free pass brings up Juan Uribe. Uribe hit a mile-high foul ball down the left field line before striking out in his lone at bat. And he pops this one up. Ibar at short, drifts back, and he is there, and that retires the side. Cleveland loads the bases in the 3rd, but they can't break through. They lead though 2-0. For the bottom of the 3rd inning, Ibar, Bonifacio, and Matt Whistler are coming up. Kluber's been very impressive. He has faced the minimum. He got a great double play started by his shortstop to end the 1st, and then worked a 1-2-3 2nd inning here in Atlanta. Kluber is a prototypical pitcher who does not mind interleague play. He has had dominant numbers against the National League. He is 10-2 with a .230 earned run average in interleague action. This year he had a no decision against the Phillies, and the Mets beat him. He leads tonight by 2, and Lindor at short, 360 spin, and an off balance peg to first. Wow.
Andrelton Lindor playing shortstop for the Indians. That's who he reminds me of.
I don't know how you could quantify it. Maybe it has been done somewhere, but I wonder if you could plug in these Bonifacio bats, plug in a major league average shortstop, and put together that player's defensive performance with this pitching staff and what impact that would make for their starting five. Because I'm guessing Kluber and all the others in rotation know if the ball's on the ground on the left side of second base, somebody's going to catch it.
I think his defensive runs saved are, I want to say, tops in the American League.
Are they?
I think so.
That wouldn't surprise me if true. He's putting on a defensive show tonight. Three balls, one strike for Bonifacio, with Matt Whistler waiting on deck. Another chance for Lindor. Got the big hop. Got rid of it quickly. Knew who was running. 2 outs.
And because he knew who was running, he didn't have the time, the luxury to wait back for that hop to get to him. He, even though it was a little bit in between, he came into it and basically smothered that hop to get the fast runner.
Two up, two down. Matt Whistler is the batter, and he takes a called strike. Whistler 1 for 27 at the plate. And that is just foul. Gomes tried to pounce on it before it kicked back to the right, and it's quickly 0-2. And a swing and a miss. 2-0 is our score as we get set for the 4th inning. And friends, today is a very sad day for all of us at Fox Sports South, and certainly a sad day for sports fans everywhere, and for our friends at the University of Tennessee. The legendary coach of the Volunteers women's basketball team, Pat Summitt, passed away today from the ravages of Alzheimer's disease. Over 1,000 career victories, an .841 winning percentage, but those numbers pale in comparison to the impact she had on so many men and women and sportsmen and women of all stripes, all sports, all across our great country.
Yeah, the trail she blazed for women's athletics will be held as second to none. But it's not just women's basketball's loss and the University of Tennessee, it's all sports loss with the passing of Pat Summitt.
And this was how Pat Summitt hoped she would be remembered.
You know, the game has blessed me in so many ways, and I love this game. I love sharing this game. I know I've really been very fortunate to have had the opportunity to have such a great staff, the support of the university, to coach some of the great names in the history of women's basketball.
Pat Summitt passed away at 64 years of age. Gino Auriemma, the coach at UConn, said lots of people coach the game, but very few get to define the game. And Pat Summitt defined it better than anyone else. Our sympathies go to her family, to the University of Tennessee, as nobody will forget the great Pat Summitt. And Kelsey Wingert, Chip Carey from the ballpark. It's 2-0. The Indians have the lead with Matt Whistler ready to face Kluber, Santana, and Jason Kipnis. Matt needs an easy inning.
Boy, does he ever. He only had 1-1-2-3 inning his last start.
Kluber laid down a sacrifice his first time up. He's 1 for 2 on the year. Now 2 sacrifice bunts. And that's out of play. I know it's a very small sample size, and I know we don't see all these American League teams very often. But you look at this Indians club right now, their youth, their versatility, their pitching staff. It's hard not to say maybe this will be the Indians' year again to unseat the defending world champion Kansas City Royals. As Joe said, they've had a great run in divisional play because they've run off 9 consecutive victories against the Detroit Tigers. Cleveland's 24-10 within their division. And so you ask, well, how have they done against Kansas City this year? They've done very well against them. They're 6-4 and have won 6 of 7 in Cleveland. And a swing and a miss takes care of Kluber for the first out.
Well, we've talked about this with other clubs that have had some rough seasons and how they have made the most of their draft picks, as we've talked about all these first rounders that the Indians have. But their growth, while it maybe stalled a little bit last year, has really come on. 68 wins to 92 wins in one season. Are you kidding me? And they've bounced back this year from an 81-80 season to take off like a jet here lately.
That's hammered toward left, but playable for Bonifacio. Santana's retired, 2 out.
But they have done it primarily from within. Pitching wise, more acquisitions there and trades there than in position players. And a good hire, of course, when they hired Terry Francona.
That's where I was going next. I think Terry has turned out to be the perfect guy at the perfect time for this Cleveland club after all of those terrific seasons managing the Boston Red Sox, which, by the way, was Terry's second managerial stop. His first was with the Phillies. But to go from Boston with all of those great players, the great tradition, the heavy expectations, and come to Cleveland with the pedigree that he had and all of these terrific young players. What a great man to mold these guys and teach them how to win consistently in the American League.
Yeah, he was a good choice for the type of team that they already had.
4th among active managers in wins behind Bruce Bochy, Mike Scioscia, and Buck Showalter. But a lot of fans would forget about Terry Francona in that regard.
He's a big league spitter, too. Yep. 4th year with Cleveland, 1,300 wins, and 2 championships with the Red Sox.
And a former Indian. People forget he played in Cleveland way back in '88. Hit .311 for him.
Matt Whistler hoping to have only his 3rd 3-up and 3-down inning in his last 4 starts and 4 innings.
Lined into center, and if Inciarte catches it, he will have a perfect top of the 4th inning. So it looks like Matt's starting to settle in. Now the offense has to go to work. It's 2-0. Home 4th coming up. That means Jace Peterson is ready to go. And Jace is tonight's Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot feature.
His last 15 starts, he's hit safely in every one of them with a .345 average and doing what he needs to do by getting on base to score runs. And he has scored 10 runs in those 15 games, doing a great job.
Kluber has yet to allow a hit. He has a pair of strikeouts to go with a walk, but he's faced the minimum through 3 innings so far tonight.
That was a backdoor cutter.
High hopper. That's hit to the wrong man. Lindor has been busy and has been very good. 1 out. Everything's been on the ground or in the glove of Yan Gomes so far tonight. Here's Inciarte. He's the only Brave to reach. And he takes a strike. We'll keep you updated on all the other action around the big leagues tonight. Big happening in Washington this evening. Exciting day for the Nationals franchise. We'll explain the pitch, which is out of play. Lucas Giolito is making his big league debut. He's the Nationals' #1 pitching prospect. And he's squaring off with Matt Harvey tonight. And he's made the jump from AA to the big leagues. And he got out of the first inning without allowing a run to the Mets. Strike 3 inside corner. Third strikeout for Kluber. And he is painting in the early innings tonight.
This is almost the exact same pitch he threw to Nick Markakis. Greg Maddux style. Start it in where it looks like it's going to stay inside. Inciarte was even moving back a little bit. And that ball changes directions. Comes back over the inside corner.
Freddie Freeman was doubled up his first time. Kluber is no stranger to low hit games. He had a 8-inning, 1-hit, 18 strikeout game against the Cardinals at one point. And right now he's throwing strikes at will.
That was one of his best fastballs of the night at 94.
Swing and a miss. That totally ate up Freddie Freeman, and Kluber picks up back-to-back strikeouts in the 4th. That was a nasty back foot slider. He leads 2-0. would have their hands full with Corey Kluber tonight. Here's yet another example of why.
This is called a back foot slider, and it's a hard one, and it's called a back foot slider because sometimes you'll swing at it and it'll hit you in the back foot, as it did there. Not bad.
That is Kluber's 4th strikeout. He has not allowed a hit. Whistler has allowed 5 hits and 2 first-inning runs. And here we are in the 5th inning, and Lindor is up for the 3rd time already, seeking his 29th multi-hit game. He singled and stole home in the 1st inning. A sinking line drive to second. Chase Peterson had a drop at his feet, and Lindor is retired for out number 1. And here's Ramirez. He's reached twice. He's singled home a run. He's walked, and he has stolen 2 bases.
Started at 3rd base last night, playing left field tonight.
Last year, he began the season as the everyday shortstop. Made 43 starts and was hitting 180. Nice play, Freeman. Backhand flip to Whistler, and there's a gorgeous play on the infield corner. Freeman robs Ramirez.
Hard to get one by the big guy. Nice diving stop. Good hustle by Whistler to get over there in time. Saved at least a double.
Matt's retired 6 in a row now, and Chisenhall stands in. Chisenhall hit that ground ball that just trickled out of the webbing of Matt's glove back in the 3rd inning. Cleveland loaded the bases in that frame, but stranded all of them. They've left 6 on base through 4 2/3 innings. Swing and a miss.
Good.
7 strikeouts for Whistler. He has set down 7 in a row. So we've got a middle innings duel, but the Braves have yet to pick up a hit. We'll see if they can do it right after this.
Sponsored by your local Toyota dealers, Let's Go Places, the Georgia Lottery, and Zaxby's Indescribably Good.
It's turned out to be a pretty night in Atlanta after torrential rains in the middle afternoon hours. Cleveland leads 2-0. Matt Whistler's rally to retire the last 7 men in order. He has struck out 7 men. And Corey Kluber has a nice run of his own going. He has retired 10 straight, has faced the minimum, and hasn't given up a hit yet through 4 innings of work. And he'll face Nick Markakis, Adonis Garcia, and A.J. Pierzynski.
This month on this good run the Indians have been on, they've gone 19-6 and 4 starts for Kluber, 3 outstanding starts and 1 clunker for Kluber. His last start against the Kansas City Royals, and the first start in May was against the Royals, 6 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. 2 starts later he sees the Royals, 5 innings, 9 hits, 8 runs. They clipped him. But on each side of that start against Kansas City, complete game efforts against the Angels and Tampa Bay. So just a 2.17 ERA for the month.
Well, as we mentioned, he did not come up through the Indian system. He was a pitcher that was acquired via trade. And if you want to talk about the process the Braves are going through, this is why you try to acquire as much pitching as you possibly can. I don't think the Padres would have obviously traded him had they known he was going to win the Cy Young Award.
Well, and the Indians liked him. They didn't know that either.
Of course not.
He developed into something great 2 years ago. He'd gone 11-9, I believe, the year before that.
Strike 3, outside corner. Markakis caught looking twice. And that's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Kluber.
That may have curved around the plate, but he got the call.
Garcia grounded out to Lindor, his first and only time up. Off the pitcher's glove, but it'll deflect right to Kipnis. Lady Luck shining on Kluber on that play. 2 outs.
Entering play tonight, Corey Kluber's last 3 seasons, strikeout, 617 strikeouts. That's 3rd in Major League Baseball to Scherzer and Kershaw.
You'd think about the first 2 guys.
Yeah, you wouldn't think about him, would you? But not that Cleveland's a small market team, but he doesn't get enough publicity, even though he won a Cy Young.
1 ball, no strikes. And AJ rips that one down the right field line. Will he keep it fair? No. He missed a double by inches. One of the hardest hit balls by the Braves tonight was laced foul. It's a ball and a strike. Well, Kluber became the 4th Indian to win the Cy Young Award. Cliff Lee, CC Sabathia, and Gaylord Perry the others. And that's up and away. 2 balls and a strike. Grounded right side. Santana ranged. Plenty of time with the catcher running. And Kluber got to the bag. 13 up, 13 down. He's having a special night. A no-hit bid through 5, and he leads by 2. Cleveland, time for tonight's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. The Indians certainly know all about the Cleveland Cavaliers and their NBA World Championship, but here is the longest active World Series title drought in the big leagues.
I think everybody knows about the Cubs for sure. They're trying to erase that, but so are the Cleveland Indians. The Rangers are the former Washington Senators.
Ground ball to third. Adonis has it and gets Gomes.
And for the Astros, and who was the team at the bottom? Astros. I mean, that's since their inception.
Can't remember. Oh, the Brewers,
and
Milwaukee.
The Brewers.
Yeah.
Who had 1 year in Seattle.
Tyler Naquin is the hitter. 8 straight Indians have been retired. Naquin's been hit by a pitch, and he has walked. Got to keep an eye on Texas as well. They are the first team in the major leagues to 50 wins. And they won a squirrely game last night. Actually, this morning.
Oh, horrible.
They had a 9th inning rain delay in New York with Texas trailing in the game, and it just absolutely dumped on Yankee Stadium. And the umpires had no choice but to pull the tarp. They made them wait through a 3-hour and 40 some odd minute rain delay, and then Texas came back to take the lead in the 9th inning in the early hours this morning to stun the Yankees.
Yeah, I think game ended about 3:30 in the morning.
And Texas on a Cleveland Indians-like run. They've won 28 of their last 36 games. And they're up 2-0 in New York again tonight. Did he go? He did not. AJ can't believe it. He spins 360 in the right-hand batter's box. And the count to Naquin, 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a happy young lady.
How great is that?
And Naquin's putting up quite a fight.
And it looked like they had him struck out 2 pitches ago, though. He got the benefit of the doubt from Bill Welke.
Got him that time, though. A few extra pitches for Whistler. But all's well that ends well. That's his 8th strikeout. And he's sent down 9 in a row.
Fastball. Couldn't catch up. And Matt Whistler has settled in.
And he's just tied his career high in strikeouts. He struck out 8 Mets last September 22nd.
Whistler was drafted in the 7th round in 2011 by San Diego. Kluber in the 4th round of 2007 by the same Padres.
One ball, one strike. And Uribe with a base hit to center with 2 outs. That'll clear Corey Kluber. Speaking of the Padres, they got some bad news today. John Jay, remember how well he was playing when the Braves saw them? He'd been hurting the last couple of days. Got a fractured forearm.
Is that right?
And he's out for the next couple of months.
Did he get hit with a pitch?
I don't know the answer to that.
What a shame.
As he was probably going to be a very attractive trade piece if the Padres thought about moving him at the deadline. That obviously by the boards now. So Kluber the batter. He has a sacrifice and a strikeout. Whistler back to the stretch. And a 93-mile-an-hour fastball is missed. This game is what is so exciting about young pitchers, but sometimes what's so frustrating about young pitchers. Matt really struggled over the first 3 innings, I should say. But since then, he's had just 1 base runner and has had electric stuff. But he's run into a hot pitcher in Corey Kluber, who got 2 first-inning runs. And Whistler, who seldom gets much run support, has gotten no runs and no hits to work with.
Chan looked it up for us. Gio Gonzalez did hit John Jay with a pitch that broke his arm. Now 2.9 runs the average support while he's in the game for Matt Whistler, and that's the 5th lowest in the National League.
A swing and a miss. That will retire Kluber, and Matt Whistler, with his 98th pitch, has a new career strikeout high. He trails 2-0.
Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Here's our game summary. It's brought to you by Mazda.
Corey Kluber's been outstanding and hasn't allowed a hit through 5 innings. And if you take away the first inning, Matt Whistler hasn't allowed any runs in his last 5 innings. Ran into some trouble in the first and had to pitch out of trouble in the second and third. And since then, Matt Whistler's been outstanding with 9 punch-outs.
But that man's been a little better.
Yep. Tough to score when you don't get anybody on base.
That's usually true.
Yeah.
Braves did have 1 base runner. Inciarte walked in the first, but Lindor started a double play, and since then, Kluber has sent down 13 consecutive men. Maybe that'll be an unlucky number as the Braves are coming up. Ibar, Bonifacio, and then Matt Whistler's spot. And if you want to know the difference between the results in this game from the pitcher's perspective, that was the 52nd pitch thrown by Kluber. Whistler threw 98 pitches in his 6 innings.
You just watch his windup. We haven't got to watch him too much from the stretch yet. You watch his windup, and it's just so smooth and repeatable. A little bit of a high leg kick. He uses his lower half real well. Drive.
Left side. Lindor's got it. Fast runner. The throw pulls Santana off the bag. That breaks up the no-hitter. It's an infield safety for Ibar.
Maybe this will be the start of something big here for the Braves in the 6th inning. Nice save by Salazar.
So there's a start. Tying run at the plate. Here's Bonifacio. He bounced out to short his first time up. So no hitter for Kluber tonight. And he delivers a called strike at the knees.
Matt Diaz picked Eric Ibar as his pick to click tonight. Hopefully that'll be the first of a couple of good things for Ibar.
To center, that's going to get down. No doubt about that one. A clean hit by Bonifacio.
It's interesting. The Braves, with a base runner, had Whistler in the on-deck circle. Then Brian Snitker pulled him back and had Snyder in the on-deck circle. And then as soon as Bonifacio comes through for the base hit, it's back to first and second, nobody out, and Whistler comes back out of the dugout because he'll probably be asked to bunt.
Exactly. Why burn a position player in a bunt situation? The Braves already a little short-handed on the bench. They're carrying 10 relievers at the moment. So Whistler will try to advance Ibar and Bonifacio with his 3rd sacrifice. He struck out his first time up. He got it down. Gomes has 1 play, and Whistler clapping his hands as he crosses the first base bag. Nicely done, young man. Tying runs in scoring position, and the top of the order's coming up.
Looked like it hit right off the front beveled edge of the plate. Kicked it forward. Nicely done. Tying runs in scoring position. And my guess would be that Whistler would now stay in the game, keep pitching. He's been rolling.
There is action in the pen, but we'll see if that's for show or if Matt comes back for inning number 7. Jace Peterson, the key man in the inning. He's grounded out twice. Again, the Indians outfield has not made an out tonight. Every out has been either a strikeout or a ground out for Corey Kluber.
Middle infielders are back. They would concede 1 run for the 2nd out, but the corners are in. Uribe and Salazar, they'd come home. Like a cutter in on his fists.
When you become commissioner of baseball, I would imagine that's the pitch you will ban.
Well, I'll hear about it a lot from the hitters wanting something to be done about it. Braves have 3 lefties in their 4 lefties in their bullpen now, and 2 of them are loosening up.
Alvarez and Cervenka as Peterson awaits an 0-2.
Good cover. Backdoor pitch, couldn't give up on it, didn't. So he had him reaching for that one to cover the outside corner. Let's see if they come in with this one.
Back-to-back hits to start the inning. A Whistler sacrifice. Now Peterson digs in. And he got the inside corner called against him for the 2nd out.
That was a 4-seamer. He just went good fastball to the inside corner there, and while it was shaving the line on the box tracks, it was a really good pitcher's pitch.
And as much as he's been around the plate, you can understand why Kluber got that call. Tough pitch. Pitcher got it. Now there are 2 outs for Inciarte, who has walked and struck out looking. And fouled away.
Sorry, Chip. 6 strikeouts, 4 looking.
That's laced foul to the left and quickly 0-2. Ender's added 36 points to his batting average over the last 3 weeks. But he too has to protect with 2 strikes. And he sure did. Man, was that breaking ball moving in on his hands.
Well, he's got control of both sides of the plate. His fastball has been outstanding tonight inside the lefties, whether it's his 4-seamer or as he threw to Jace, or the 2-seamer where he's had Inciarte and Markakis looking. Backdoor slider, back foot slider to lefties.
And still throwing very hard with a big fastball at 95 miles an hour. That's down the right field line, but that'll reach the seats. And Inciarte with a terrific 6th inning battle working.
That looked like the first mistake he's made tonight. He left that breaking ball out over the plate, and he was fortunate that Ender was a little quick on it and pulled it foul.
This one hit to left and headed for the stands.
Good speed on the bases for the Braves, especially with Bonifacio at second. Ramirez in left field, very shallow for Inciarte, just daring him to try to hit the ball over his head. Bender gets a base hit to left. It'll be a challenge for Bonifacio to score.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat. Maybe the longest sequence for Kluber all night. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In the air, a base hit to center. 1 run is in. Here comes Boney around third. The throw's cut off. Inciarte in a rundown between first and second. And the tag applied. But Ender Inciarte with an RBI single ties the game off Corey Kluber here in the 6th. What a battle. And Matt Whistler and the Braves have tied it up as we go to the 7th. At bat there against Corey Kluber. He was down 2 strikes, but a base hit brings home 2, and we're tied up.
He made, I think, the only 2 mistakes he's made all night to Ender in that at bat, and one was there with a fastball outer third of the plate. And wanting to make sure that runner scored and that they would cut the ball off. He got himself in a rundown, which is no harm, no foul there, as both runs scored.
So 10 RBIs for Inciarte. You know Matt Whistler like that, for that takes him off the hook. And for Matt, after a base runner filled start to the game, he was absolutely terrific to finish things up. At one point, Whistler retired 9 straight men after having base runners all over the place in the first couple of innings. But Joe, he bent but didn't break.
Yeah, really good his last 3 innings. Really good. So now it's up to the bullpen to keep firing some zeros on the board and give the offense a chance to get back up there.
First man out of the chute is left-hander Hunter Cervenka. And he'll face Santana, who switch hits and turns around to bat right-handed. He's a better hitter lefty. He's hitting .217 as a right-handed batter.
Well, you know he's going to swing the bat. He hasn't walked in 14 games.
Just a bit outside. For a man that almost never walks, Cervenka's very wild to Santana. 3 balls and a strike. And it is ball 4. An adventurous start to inning number 7 for Hunter Cervenka. And Kelsey, we understand Hunter had an adventurous start to his day today.
He did. He was on the way to the field, and somebody pulls up next to him and says, hey, your tire's on fire. Turns out his brake pad was on fire. He had to pull over on the side of the road for 3 hours, ended up catching a ride to the field by a tow truck. So he got to work a little late, but got here safely, and he's fine, and his truck is okay.
Well, if he just got to the ballpark around the time Joe and I did, nothing would have caught on fire.
No, he could have driven through a lot of puddles.
Glad he's here safe and sound as Jason Kipnis bats, and Cervenka misfires again. 1 ball, no strikes. Hunter's got a good run going. He's got 8 consecutive scoreless outings, covering 6 1/3 innings. And lefties only have 6 hits and 43 at bats. But a leadoff walk in a tie game has Cleveland thinking about taking the lead back. That sprayed toward left. Bonifacio going back onto the warning track, and he gets there right in front of the 335 sign. Kipnis gave it a long ride the other way, but he's retired for the first out.
Not much wind tonight. Nowhere near what we saw last night when we thought we were going to get a lot of weather. That ball was really slicing.
And that'll bring up Lindor, who's 1 for 3 tonight. After the Braves finished up their 6th inning, he was really upset that he couldn't make a good throw on Ibar's infield ground ball. That turned into the first hit of the inning and the first hit of the game. And good fielders always think that way. They play the game with such, and I use this word complimentarily, with such arrogance. There's not a play they don't think they can't or shouldn't make.
And we said that many times about Andrelton Simmons, that there were a lot of times he got himself and the team in some trouble by trying to make a play that he wasn't willing to give up on.
Adonis to his left, 2nd 1, first 2, double play. And Cervenka works around the leadoff walk. Lindor is doubled up. Freddie Freeman will lead off for the Braves as we head to the 7th inning stretch. We're tied 2-2 with Cleveland. Who better to put the Braves in front than the Braves slugging first baseman?
Last 10 home games, Freddie Freeman, a .902 slugging percentage with 4 homers this season. 9 of the Braves' 21 home runs at home have been hit by Freddie Freeman. Is that right? Did I read that right?
Yeah. Yeah, 9 of Freddie's 13 have been here. And 9 of the 21 hit by the team here have come from Freddie Freeman. Braves rallied for 2 in the 6th to tie it against Kluber, who was looking for a no-hitter tonight. Another shift on for Cleveland, and the first is up and away, ball 1. Who will crack first, Kluber or the Braves bullpen, which has been so good of late? During this run for the Tribe, their starters a collective 2.05 ERA. Braves have 2, but need 1 more to win tonight.
Boy, is that a good pitch. That one didn't hit him in the foot, but same general vicinity.
Swing and a miss. That's 7 strikeouts for Kluber tonight, and 1 away in the Braves 7th.
Went to the outside part of the plate this time. And had Freddie fishing.
Nick Markakis has been caught looking twice.
And you see for Kluber only 74 pitches, even with the 7 strikeouts.
Nick drives 1 to left. Ramirez drifts back and makes the catch, and that's out number 2. Not a bad idea for Markakis. Trying to take a good cut at the first strike you see, because if you get to 2 strikes, that slider has been a great wipeout pitch. Here's Adonis. He's hit 5 homers. Maybe an encouraging sign. Markakis with the first flyout for the Braves offense. And it came here in the 7th inning. Great stat man upstairs, Chan Hartzog, caught that for us. So thank you, Chan. 1 ball, no strikes. And this one's popped up on the infield. Kipnis looks up into the gray skies above and makes the play, and Kluber recovers with a perfect 7. Ramirez, Chisenhall, and Gomes coming up. We're tied after 7.
Going into the 8th inning, and it's time for your Xfinity game break. The Nationals hosting the Mets. And MLB's top prospect, Lucas Giolito, making his debut in the show for Washington. And there is his first career strikeout. He gets Cabrera swinging. That's the second batter he faces. And then Cespedes. That is his first career ground out. Fun fact, he went to high school with Braves prospect Max Fried. The Nats lead this one 1-0 in the fourth inning.
All right, Kelsey, thank you very much. I think Max Fried pitched today for the Braves in the lower minor leagues. And Giolito off to a nice start for the Nationals, who need some pitching help with Steven Strasburg disabled, with Gio Gonzalez riding a 6-game losing streak. And as we told you earlier, he's made the jump from Double-A to the show, and he's facing off with Matt Harvey tonight. Jim Johnson celebrated his birthday yesterday. 33 years young. He's on for the 27th time tonight. And he's got the 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up for Cleveland. Ramirez, Chisenhall, and Gomes. Jim is really pitching good baseball out of the bullpen.
That stint on the disabled list changed his season for the better.
Just one earned run in his last 11 games, covering 12 innings. He's picked up a win and a save in that stretch. Ground ball that'll stay fair at first, and Freeman's going to take care of Ramirez. One out. Here's Lonnie Chisenhall. He hit a big homer here last night. Tonight he's got a single and a stolen base. Knock on wood, the Braves have kept the Cleveland club in the ballpark tonight. 21 homers during their 10-game winning streak, and a base hit to right represents the go-ahead run. Cleveland has speed, they have power, they have left-right balance. They also have hit a lot of home runs in June, as you see on the Academy Sports leaderboard.
Just an incredible month for them. Baltimore, they hit 2 or 3 a night, so you're not surprised by the fact that they have 51. But the Indians looking for their 20th win this month. Freddie Freeman was guarding the line, so he was in a great place to field a ground ball from Ramirez. But by guarding the line, Chisenhall's ball got through there pretty easily.
Gomes broke his bat, rolls to Ibar, flip to Peterson, one, catcher running, and out at first. The Braves have gotten inning-ending double plays in the 7th and now the 8th inning. And the Braves are coming up tied at 2 apiece, with A.J. Przinsky set to lead things off. Good ball game in Atlanta tonight. Braves try to snap Cleveland's 10-game winning streak. time, the Braves and Chick-fil-A are offering 2 free tickets to any remaining home game for all members of the Braves Kids Club. Membership is free. Go to Braves.com/kids today to take advantage of this great deal. Some youngsters here from Puerto Rico. They have seen a great big league game tonight. Cleveland jumped out 2-0 in the first. The Braves answered with 2 runs of their own with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Big RBI hit from Ender Inciarte. Now the Braves facing Kluber again. Go to work in the 8th. And A.J. drives one toward left. A sinking fly ball caught by Ramirez, who got a good jump. And there's out number 1. Well, here's the man that got it started back in the 6th inning. Ibar, an infield hit. And Eric scored the first Braves run. He's now got a hit in 9 of his last 13 games. Pretty pitch at the knees. 2-1 the count.
Eric was looked like he was just either sitting on a breaking ball or going to make him throw him a strike.
That's foul. And 2-2. 2 runs, 7 hits for Cleveland. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Braves. The Indians have left 7 men on base. Boy, they are shaking their heads at that. 4 in scoring position over the first 3 innings. The Braves have not left a single runner on tonight.
Yeah, getting Uribe to pop to short to end the 3rd inning with the bases loaded was huge for Matt Whistler.
Kipnis in shallow right is there and has it for the 2nd out. Emilio Bonifacio will be the hitter. Braves Live will follow us from Turner Field tonight. As always, Braves Live is presented by Xfinity. Jerome and Matt Diaz have the hosting duties tonight. Hopefully we'll talk about a season evening win for the Braves afterward. Just like that, it's 0-2. Line to Uribe at 3rd base. And that will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. This game goes to the 9th.
And all season, we have been keeping you updated with the Braves minor league system. And a name you've heard a lot is Dansby Swanson. And that leads us to our Zaxby's indescribably good play. The Braves' top prospect has been selected to play in the MLB All-Star Futures game. Last 5 games, 8 for 17. This is a guy that fans are just itching to see up here, guys.
And when he's ready, he will be, Kelsey. And certainly it'll be a great showcase for Dansby Swanson to participate in the Futures game festivities. And when Dansby gets here, we hope that he will stay here. As you look at Arodys Vizcaino, he's coming on to pitch the 9th inning in a 2-2 game with Cleveland.
And as per usual, tie game in the 9th. There will be no save situation. So Brian Snitker electing to use him here in the 9th. He's got a string of 7 straight scoreless outings. Picked up a save by getting just 1 out a couple of days ago against the Mets.
Tyler Naquin is the first man Arodys will face, and that misses high. A couple of other names in the minor leagues to keep an eye on. Sean Newcomb, 6 innings of 1-run ball at Double-A. Braxton Davidson hitting .306 over his last 20. The Carolina Mudcats, and Rome's playing a doubleheader today. Fried and Soroka are pitching for the Rome Braves. Naquin's reached twice. He struck out once. He does not have a hit. But a leadoff walk would not be a good idea.
And he's had single walks in 3 of his last 5 outings. Braves got 2 double plays the last 2 innings, but can't count on that.
And it's a leadoff walk. So a leadoff walk in a tie game. Braves fans, the 2016 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballots here. Head to Braves.com and pick your All-Star Game worthy stars and send them to the All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 12th in San Diego. Vote today, vote tomorrow, vote at Braves.com. Downstairs to Uribe, as Joe said. Juan had a key at bat in this game. Bases loaded in the 3rd inning with 2 outs, and he popped out.
It's interesting how at times Vizcaino comes in and really has a hard time finding the strike zone. Adonis over to give him a pep talk. He doesn't walk a ton of guys. It just seems like he comes in and falls behind on some nights to just about every guy that comes up there.
Naquin stolen a couple of bases. Remember, he was hit on the knee with a pitched ball, so not sure how good the left leg feels here in the late innings. He's got a very short lead. And Uribe takes outside. It's ball 2.
And a good choice there. Didn't turn out well, but for AJ, there were a couple of outings ago, I remember, where it seemed like Arodys was having trouble finding the strike zone. He was throwing hard, harder, and hardest until they went soft, and then started throwing strikes.
Well, he's thrown 8 pitches in the inning, and he's thrown 1 strike. And it's 3-0. Mike Napoli grabs a bat. He's on deck. The pitcher's spot is next. back-to-back walks in the 9th inning has it set up for the Indians. Napoli will be called back now. Roger McDowell will try to calm down Vizcaino. And the Indians will likely play for a bunt. We'll see who comes on to pinch hit for Corey Kluber.
Counting this as his last in part of a 14 outing stretch. Only one other time did he walk more than one, and that was back on June 13th against Cincinnati, where he took a loss when he walked 3 guys.
So a couple of changes here for Cleveland. First of all, Michael Martinez will come on and pinch hit for Kluber. And the Indians have a pinch runner at first base. I believe it's Rajai Davis. Bunted foul. And strike one. Martinez was a non-roster invite to big league camp on November 13th. Got to the big leagues on May 14th when Michael Brantley went to the disabled list. Jack of all trades player, all 3 outfield spots, can play second base as well.
Yeah, I remember seeing him with the Phillies.
So 2 fast runners aboard, 1 strike. And that one's bunted in the air and foul. Donis couldn't catch up. And it's 0-2. Kluber was terrific. 87 pitches over 8 innings. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 2 runs on only 3 hits. 0-2 for Martinez. No bunt that time, and he takes strike 3 and can't believe it. That's more of a frustration over not getting a bunt down. That's why he's on the roster, and the runners are stranded.
It was a little wide. Braves caught a break, and Vizcaino did in the process, and he needed it. Big strikeout.
And here's Santana. He has an infield hit tonight. Most of it, his hits batting left-handed, have gone for extra bases. Don't want to see that here. As that one's off the plate. AJ held it there for a moment. Heck, that pitch looked better than the one that was called a strike to get Martinez out.
It sure did.
Count even. .48 hits against right-handed pitching this year for Santana. 26 extra base hits. Dangerous leadoff man. And the 1-1. Down and in, 2 balls and a strike.
Trying to tie him up and maybe get a ground ball.
He's all over the place.
Yeah. Santana's only hitting .216 with runners in scoring position. With some better pitches, he might get a ground ball. got a break when Martinez failed to get the runners over. But that will go by the wayside if he walks Santana.
Base hit to right. Here comes Naquin around third. They're going to wave it. Markakis loads up. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is going to be late. Santana cashes in the leadoff walk, and the Indians take a 9th inning lead at 3-2.
Fastball up. Santana, the switch hitter, tomahawked that one left-handed. Next throw offline and short.
So the Indians push across a 9th inning run. They lead 3-2 as they try to extend their winning streak to 11. And a tough out, and Jason Kipnis up with a runner at third and a runner at first. And something off speed, called a strike. Popped up. This is a big out if the Braves can catch this. A.J. collides with Adonis right on top of the Indians on deck circle. But the Braves catcher puts the squeeze on that, and Kipnis pops out for the 2nd of the inning.
A.J. was not going to let this go. A late call by Adonis. You can see him there calling it, but by that point A.J. was under it and not going to get out of the way and risk that dropping. That was a big out.
And a tough play considering all the yard sale stuff that he had to work around with his feet. So here's Lindor, 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. And he lashes one out of play for a strike.
Where does bat go?
Right by the Braves on deck circle. He lost the handle. Nice stop by A.J. evens the count. Braves open the door for the Indians in the 9th with back-to-back walks to start the inning. And then Santana with a base hit to right brought home Naquin for the Indians' first run since the 1st inning. A.J. framed that one nicely. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In the Braves' 9th, pitcher spot, Peterson and Inciarte coming up.
Kuroda's not really a ground ball pitcher, so when he walks one guy, let alone 2, it's going to be a tough inning for him because he just rarely gets a double play ball.
Ball in the dirt, and advancing is Santana with a good read. It takes away a force play. So he's at second on the wild pitch.
2 good stops in this at bat by A.J.
To the left side. Backhand ball dropped by Ibar, and a run is in. Even if Eric makes that play with the blazing speed of Lindor, I'm not sure if he gets him at first. But Cleveland cashes in the second walk. A 2-run ninth makes it a 4-2 game.
And then that may have been where he was coming to try to get the out. Just the way his body was set up there. But Adonis wasn't at the bag. And that's what Eric was saying to him. You gotta get over there on that ball. Give me a chance for an out.
So it's an error on Ibar, no RBI. Santana's at third, Lindor's at first. Cleveland leads 4-2 in the ninth. And right now, this inning for Vizcaino is a bucking bronco. He is grabbing the reins and holding on for dear life.
Even the ball to Lindor looked to be about 4 or 5 inches outside that he put in play.
One ball, 2 strikes. And the term you used early in the game with regards to Matt Whistler and his first inning struggles about sharks. Well, they started circling again after that leadoff walk here in the ninth.
This team just there's no soft spots in the lineup to go pitch around, get to someone else.
Runner at first goes. Pitch popped up left side. Adonis won't have a play. That's over the Indians dugout. And we'll do it again. By pitch count, this is one of the longest innings for Vizcaino all year. He's about to make his 29th pitch. Of his first 9, 8 were out of the strike zone. And they're having a bit of a technical difficulty with the center field scoreboard.
The umpire, rightfully so, stopped play until it was turned off.
Again, the runner goes and a line drive to center. That's down for a hit. A run is in. The throw's coming back to second, but diving in safely is Lindor. And Ramirez singles on the 30th pitch of the inning. And the Indians are pulling away. It's now 5-2.
Second RBI of the night for Ramirez. He hit in the 6th spot last night. He's batting cleanup tonight and took advantage of opportunities.
Rough outing for Arodys Vizcaino. 2 hits, 3 runs so far, 2 walks, the real damaging plays. And the Indians with 3 in the ninth lead 5-2.
Mazda, Georgia Power, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Cleveland, with a big ninth inning, has taken the lead again. 5-2 is your score. Today and tomorrow only get Club View seats with 755 club access for all games in July for just $10. It's an offer you don't want to miss. Go to Braves.com/July and get your tickets today. Dario Alvarez becomes the 4th Atlanta reliever tonight, following Cervenka, Johnson, Vizcaino. Matt Whistler started for the Braves through 98 pitches, struck out a career-high 9 in 6 innings, and left with the game tied at 2 apiece.
Dario took the loss his last time out against the Mets. Third of an inning, gave up a hit, and that runner scored what proved to be the winning run. That was Kelly Johnson's home run.
Sweeping slider. Chisenhall didn't get it. No balls and a strike. Look, Arodys Vizcaino's been very good for the Braves this year. He wasn't tonight. Bad day at the office. It happens. And walks were the real problem for him. Walk people at the bottom of the order in a tie game and get back to the top. You're asking for trouble.
Well, that will be what he wrestles with tonight, are the walks. It's not about having a bad night where you get hit or make some mistakes in location, but the walks will drive him crazy.
So Chisenhall, with an 0-2 count, is looking for a 3-hit night. He's 4 for 8 so far in the series. And a swing and a miss. Retires the side. Cleveland scores 3 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, and an error. And its last call for the Braves in the 9th. 5-2 Tribe. Three outs, trailing 5-2. Here's our Toyota key play tonight.
2-2 ball game, but after a couple of walks, a base hit there by Salazar to plate the go-ahead run. It was the first of 3 for the Tribe in the top of the 9th. And a save situation, so their closer Cody Allen is on to try to finish it up. He's 14 for 16 in save chances. Throws hard, mid-90s fastball and a hard curveball. 34 saves last year, 24 in 2014. Last year he struck out 99 batters in 69 innings.
Jose Ramirez moves from left field to third base. Remember, he's a former shortstop, and Rajai Davis, who came on as a pinch runner, is out in left field. So Allen will face Chase Darno. Braves need 3 to tie, 4 to win in the 9th. After a red hot start, Chase's bat has cooled a bit. He's riding an 0 for 11 streak. He's done a nice job off the bench. 3 hits in 8 pinch hit assignments. And Anthony's a strike. We've bragged an awful lot, Joe, about the #1 picks that are on this Cleveland team. Allen is not one of them. He was a 23rd round pick, 698th draft selection in 2011 out of High Point University in North Carolina. And he just struck out d'Arnaud on 4 pitches to start the 9th inning.
Curveball the pitch before, and then 95 gas. I believe he went to the same high school where John Hart coached high school baseball in Orlando.
That's exactly right. Boone High School, where Ron Karkovice, Joe Oliver, Mike Maroth, and Paul Wilson once played. And my wife Susan graduated from Boone High School. At least I think she graduated. I'll find out later. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, that'll be a fun phone call. 1 ball, no strikes for Jace Peterson. The pitch is downstairs. Allen's favorite athlete growing up, Chipper Jones. Favorite team growing up, the Atlanta Braves. '58 saves for the Indians the last 2 years. And this one is cranked towards center and deep. That ball is gone. Jace Peterson hits a 9th inning homer. There's one of them back. It's 5-3 now.
Man, he put a charge in that. Fastball down the middle. You got a 3-run lead. That's kind of what you do. And Jace didn't miss that one. That's his 2nd homer. Both since coming back.
His first was in Miami against David Phelps. So the Braves need another base runner, because look who's on deck. Freddie Freeman. And he could tie the game if Inciarte can reach. High hopper. It's a race to the bag. Bobbled and close and out. Has there been a Brave involved in more bang-bang plays on the bases than Ender Inciarte on this homestand?
No. And they are going to take a look at this, and why not? Here in the bottom of the 9th. Oh, baby.
Wow.
It looked like Allen's foot was on the bag, but I don't know if he had the ball yet. Hey.
Hunter Wendelstedt was the man that made the call at first, and what hurts you on a close play like that, as we always say, is evidence to change the call on the field.
Well, that shot from the high first camera where Allen was almost trying to corral the baseball right here. This one, watch how he's trying to get control of the ball as Inciarte steps on the bag. Oh, I don't know.
So here's another question. We talk all the time about the ball has to be in the glove. It's in the glove. The question, I guess, then from your perspective is, does he have control?
Yeah, that shot from high first, I'm going to say he didn't have control of it yet, that it was entering the glove.
Verdict is in. He's out. Call stands, and somebody just fired a hat onto the playing field, and I think it's Jeff Francoeur who just got thrown out of the ball game. Brian Snitker's out to try to keep him from going after Hunter Wendelstedt. And Jeff was ejected.
Well, that's not good because he was one of the guys left on the bench.
So after that out call was made, somebody, including Jeff Francoeur, said something. The hat got thrown onto the field, and Wendelstedt ran Jeff Francoeur, came out to get his money's worth on the ejection. And now there are 2 outs. So the Braves are down to their last out. It's Freddie Freeman. During that hullabaloo, Allen kept throwing some warm-up tosses to keep his rhythm working. Freeman 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Cody Allen didn't take him long to get to the major leagues after being drafted in 2011, was in the show in 2012.
Well, you can see why. I mean, he's got a really lively fastball in the mid-90s and a good hook. You probably see the curveball right here.
He was the second member of the 2011 draft class to get to the big leagues. Trevor Bauer, his current teammate, also did that while with the Diamondbacks. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Freddie Freeman. Braves have a run in the 9th, but need 2 more.
John Gomes had a high target, and then they changed the sign. Nope. Stayed with it. But if you throw one up there, elevate it, you know, almost eye high, then chances are good you're going to come back with a curveball, change the eye level. But it was a bad one.
Braves need a base runner any way they can get it. Full count coming up for Freddie. Fly ball left center. Nyquin going back. Still going at the wall. Can't get it. He slams into the fence. Freeman around second. He's on his way to third. And the Braves are still alive. Another Freddie Freeman triple. And Nyquin absolutely slammed into that wall trying to make a game-ending catch.
Fastball up. Probably not a strike. I thought that Nyquin overran this ball, Chip. We'll get a better look right here. He did. He overran it. Maybe bracing himself to hit the wall, and it hit his glove, but it was behind him. That ball should have been caught.
Nick Markakis will try to bring home a run and keep the game alive. The Braves are giving this home crowd a finish tonight.
And the call at first looms huge.
And you know what? If Hunter Wendelstedt had given the Braves that call, it would have been Cleveland going crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? As we've seen so many times, if the original call had been safe, they wouldn't have overturned it either.
Correct. 1 ball, no strikes. That serve toward left. Davis drifting back. He's going to have room. And the Indians have won their 11th consecutive game. The Braves gave the Tribe a finish in the 9th, but fall a couple of runs short. Cleveland gets 3 in the top half of the inning. They broke a 2-2 tie and hold on to win by a final score of 5-3. Plenty to talk about in Atlanta. Great ball game, but Cleveland wins it. Back with more in a moment.